We've got more censorship news today, this time with One Piece. And this is quite a bit different than the censorship we usually see. Censorship that makes absolutely no sense or is completely ridiculous or oftentimes both of the above. This actually is much more reasonable, although personally I still don't support it. I can understand why they would censor this scene specifically. So let me show you what we're talking about here today. And let me also apologize for getting no content out yesterday. I was still quite sick. I don't know how many of you guys are following me on Twitter, but I posted an update there. Regardless, I'm still a little sick today, so I'm going to try to just kind of make these segments short. I'll have a couple of videos coming out today, starting with this one, though. So sorry if it's kind of brief and to the point, but yeah. So let's talk about it. Tweet reads, by the way, the woman from Okeboro shanking the baby was censored in the episode. Pretty reasonable considering how incredibly grim that was even for One Piece. It was pretty obvious they wouldn't let this air on Japanese television. Now we'll backtrail to this tweet in a moment and take a look at some of the responses here. But first, let's hop over to comicbook.com and take a look at their write-up where they also show a comparison picture here. Actually, I don't think they compare it, but I will compare it for you. They show the original manga panel, and then I'll go back to that tweet and show you the picture there again. So let's take a look. It reads, One Piece may be a series meant for kids, but the story has roped in fans of all ages. Given its core demographic, the Straw Hats don't take part in risque events very often, but One Piece has explored some dark topics before. In fact, such a story went live over the weekend, but anime-only viewers will not know how dark episode 908 should have been. And why is that? When it all comes down to a bit of censorship, it turns out one of Wano arc's most controversial manga moments was softened in the anime, and fans have questions about the edit. For those unaware, One Piece put out a new episode this weekend. The update followed the Straw Hats as they nabbed some food for their friends. Given Wano's extreme wealth disparity, the villagers of Okebore town have been starving for some time. Luffy, I almost said Luffy. Wait, it is Luffy. What am I talking about? Still a little bit out of it, like I said. Sorry about that. Luffy manages to send them a ship of food, all thanks to Tama, but the town was in dire straits before the pirate arrived. So we see this manga panel here. You can see the Blade, the baby, the mother or the grandmother about to do something completely terrible, because they can't survive. So they're trying to end this before things get worse or they suffer anymore. It's messed up. And then the old man on the left, he is about to also do something to himself as well. So it is a dark scene. Absolutely, it's a dark scene. And that's why I'm saying this does make more sense, I will admit, than literally like 99.99% of the censorship that I see out there nowadays. Although it's still censorship, it definitely makes more sense than, for example, censoring thighs or something like that, which we do see a lot of nowadays. Anyways, back to the article. In the manga, the lead up to Luffy's gift was hard to watch. All of the villagers were seen slumping around the town, eating what they could. For children, they were seen crying in hunger, while their parents scolded them with tears in their eyes. And that's not the most unsettling part. The saddest panel came when I look at an older woman dressed in a patchwork yukata. She has a starving baby in hand, and the lady is preparing to take the child's life with a blade to put them out of their misery. Across from her, an old man is seen kneeling in prayer as he prepares to take his as well, but they are stopped by a neighbor when the food arrives. Both of these dark scenes were cut from the anime's latest episode. The lady was shown with the child, but there was no blade in sight, and I'll show you that picture again in a moment. As for the man, he continued praying, but without the rope before him. The devastating scene was softened for its TV debut, and some fans questioned the decision to take the edge of Wano's injustice, but given One Piece's main demographic, you can see why, those words are touchy subjects. Now, here's the edited panel. The anime, well, it's not a panel anymore, it's the anime scene. But you can see, yep, no rope. Oh, did they also change the old man to an old woman? Hold up a second. That's weird. I just noticed that. Yeah, I mean, that's an old man on the left, right? I mean, to be fair, I don't really know. Because I haven't seen this part of the anime or the manga. I don't know if the character speaks or whatever, if we see more of that character. But that's interesting, actually. I didn't even catch that until reading this right now. Yeah, it says an old man is seen kneeling, and then in the changed version, it's an old woman. That's kind of odd. That part I don't understand, to be honest. Was it, I mean, maybe it was always an older woman then? I don't know. That panel's the rest of her is kind of cut off. Let me know in the comments what you think about that part. That's new to me. I didn't notice that until right now. But anyways, here's the rest of the anime picture. As you can see, quite a bit different. And let's take a look at some public opinions on this now. One person writes, Japan has one of the highest rates of taking one's life in the world, and it is understandable that they would censor that, considering that children in Japan are watching this weekly in Sunday morning kids block. I dislike when they censor out content, another user wrote, like this, but as long as the anime op will keep airing in its current time slot, I think it's unavoidable. Anyway, censorship is the reason I don't consider the anime fully canon. I hope one day it will be properly made again from the beginning. So other user writes, yeah, still disappointed nonetheless, as it really drove home the despair in Wano. Another user writes, yeah, I figured as much. They didn't even show Law's iconic middle fingers after all. Whoa, well, that's interesting. I don't know about that one. So Law was not able to, what was he doing, flipping someone off or something? They censored that? I'll have to look more into that story. This other guy, Gatorman, says, just went back to your chapter secrets about this chapter, and you mentioned that it's gruesome, but not unprecedented. What are some examples of scenes like this in One Piece? Don't want to read all of those. I mean, I kind of want to focus on this one at hand for now. I pointed this omission out to my roommate when we were watching last night's ep together. Darn, would have been funny, though. Would have been funny. That's weird. In the anime, they was going to eat the baby instead, so it's far darker. Wait, really? That's news to me, too, and no one liked that. I don't know if that's fake news or what. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that one. Panda Animation writes, what is this, 4Kids? And, the 4Kids dub One Piece is pretty iconic. Not really for great reasons, unless it's comedic. And Michael responds again. The same guy has responded like 3 or 4 times now just from scrolling through a little bit of this. Almost makes me feel like he has an agenda or something. Copy-pasting this. Maybe he just really wants to try to make sense of this all, but I don't know. Coming off kind of weird to me now. A few more of these. We'll take a look. Wow, this person actually edited it to have the dagger again. I thought for a second they would edit the whole thing, but no, it's only that part. This user writes, makes sense. One Piece airs on a kid's time slot. They can only show so much. And while that's a fair argument, I think maybe the response to that is, should it really be airing on a kid's time slot then? Perhaps it shouldn't be. That's an interesting way of looking at it, right? And just to confirm that, I did look into this a little bit, and apparently, yes, One Piece airs on Sundays 9:30 to 10 a.m., although they don't say what time zone, but if you look at the genre here as well, anime/kids, and then One Piece. So make of that what you will. This is from Fuji Television Network Incorporated. Maybe some of you guys can corroborate that or otherwise. Yeah, because like this user writes, really, I thought it airs around 10 p.m. at night, so interesting. Oh, but he followed up by saying just confirmed it airs on Sunday mornings. It makes sense. That would follow up with what I just found here too. So I guess that part makes sense. But again, I would then raise the question, how much censorship are they doing? If they censored like a middle finger and then this and a bunch of other stuff, maybe it just shouldn't be airing on a kid's time slot. I can understand why they might think that's a better time slot for the franchise, more profitable, more traffic and all that. But, you got to look at all this stuff, at least in my opinion. But that's all I got for you guys on this one. So let me know what you guys think about this censorship in One Piece. And if you have other stories of censorship in One Piece that you think we would find interesting, feel free to comment them down below. Much appreciated on that note. And to reiterate my stance on this, I don't support this censorship either. And depending on how much censorship One Piece has had, I think personally, as I mentioned, maybe it should have a different time slot. And they shouldn't be censoring a bunch of stuff to try to fit it in a more valuable time slot, so to speak, because that kind of then slaps the manga readers in the face, at least in my opinion. But at the end of the day, One Piece is a cool franchise. I like it. I wish I started reading or watching it when it was not like infinitely long, so to speak. Obviously, I'm being a bit hyperbolic with that one. But no, I think it's cool. I read Wikipedia summaries of One Piece, and I try to watch the fights and all that, but it's just too much for me to catch up on now. But I think the world's cool and all that jazz, so, I do hope the franchise continues to do well. And that's all I got for you in this one. Some shouts out for the last video. We got DXDKJ, Ambi-Pass Studio, Coden X, and Skelly that's for the one 2 days ago regarding the localization with Fate Grand Order. And let me apologize again if I'm a bit out of it in this video. Still a little under the weather, but a lot better than I was yesterday. I should have one more segment coming out in a little bit, and it's going to be probably a Halloween one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you enjoy that one too, and I hope you have a great week ahead. I'll see you soon.